Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to thank our distinguished witnesses for being here today. As we evaluate the ongoing crisis in Burma, we must ensure that the U.S. continues to advocate for justice for the Burmese people. I look forward to hearing from our witnesses today regarding opportunities to address the refugee crisis and ensure that religious freedom is protected. Ambassador Curry, a report from the United Nations in June of this year noted that the military in Burma is repressing the entry of aid into the country, noting that humanitarian workers have been physically blocked at checkpoints. What are the most effective means to ensure that aid is received by those like the Rohingya need it the most?
Very briefly, sir, working through cross-border organizations, including with ethnic health systems, ethnic educational systems, and there is a long history of U.S. support for cross-border assistance from Thailand. Also working with India to help get cross-border assistance across the India-Burma border. And we are seeing increased cooperation between India, Bangladesh, and actors in Rakhine State. Again, some of these folks are not people I would choose to cooperate with, but they are facilitating some aid into areas that have long been blocked. The regime consistently blocks any humanitarian assistance from going to areas outside of its control, and it instrumentalizes what humanitarian assistance flows through its channels. And I have long recommended not providing any humanitarian assistance through regime-controlled channels because it only benefits them.
Thank you. Mr. Ross, how do you believe that sanctions and other economic actions in the U.S. government can be used strategically to pressure the junta to protect the rights of all Burmese civilians?
Thank you for the question. As I said earlier, I think that there has been an incremental approach to sanctions over the last almost 5 years, and I'd say a much heavier focus on the imposition of sanctions than the enforcement or coordination of sanctions. So certainly, I think there is some additional benefit from continuing to look at actors that are benefiting from the drugs trade, from scam centers that are supplying weapons to the military, and looking at those actors. But there's also a lot on the table that is ripe for further enforcement and coordination, interagency, and also with other allies and partners.
And as a follow-up, Burma has increasingly aligned itself militarily with China and with Russia through armaments and training, respectively. How do you believe that these Burmese alliances will impact America's allies in the region?
Sure. Yeah, I think that the arms flows from China and Russia, and to a lesser extent others in the region, have an impact on stability within Myanmar and then have a spillover effect elsewhere in the region. So the outflow of refugees, the impact of disease that is not confined to borders, all of those things are follow-on impacts of the armed support that's being provided by China and Russia to the regime that enables it to continue to wage war against the Myanmar people.
Thank you. Ms. Karam, can you please share what actions from the United States and other members of the international community have been the most impactful in addressing the plight of the Rohingya in Burma?
Thank you for the question. The international community members and the United States have done a lot already. I think I would also want to mention for the last 2.5 years, because of the competing priorities in the world, we've lost the attention, the level of support and attention from the international community members, and I would like to call on them to continue engaging on these issues and to work to make sure that the issues are being addressed timely. The United States could do much more, including providing funding to the much needed programs on the ground, but also working with the host government, including Bangladesh, to allow refugees to work within the camps. These are for the short and medium-term solution that we need, but for the long term, to facilitate the sustainable, dignified, and safe return for those who are still in the camps back to our homeland in Burma. Thank you.
Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you. Let me now